My name is Jackie Cline, and this is my God story. I don't remember a time that I didn't believe in God. I grew up in a great family. My mother did suffer from depression, and she found her comfort in God. So we talked a lot about Him. Our family was not the type of family that spent a lot of time in church. We weren't even at church on a regular basis. My mother didn't spend a lot of time reading the Bible. But when we talked about God, we talked about Him as a friend. And that's the personality that we learned of God. And she found that comfort in Him, and she wanted to give back to Him. So the way that she did that is she put my brother and I through Christian school. So we spent our entire elementary, middle school, and high school years in a private school. And it's really easy to be proud of God when you're surrounded by people who are proud of God. And it wasn't until high school that I started to take God for granted. I became a really great athlete, and I was becoming a really good volleyball player and ended up earning a scholarship to play volleyball at Ohio State. So I moved from this Christian environment into a secular one, and I found myself at that time becoming silent about God. I took Him for granted. I knew He was always there, but I didn't put in the work I needed to have that relationship with Him through those years. Now, in college, I had a great experience. I didn't experience any trauma. Nothing really bad happened, other than I thought when I went to college I would become a great stud athlete. I thought I was going to be the best, and that wasn't in God's plan. God's plan was that I was going to be a practice player on my team. My job was to make my teammates better, but I definitely didn't get to go to the Olympics like I really wanted to. As I finished college, moving out of that situation, I met my husband. And my husband loved God and still does love God. And he also loved volleyball. So we decided that we were going to use that to reach the next generation of kids and athletes. So our ultimate goal when we started our business was to teach kids how to play volleyball, but really to use volleyball as an avenue to become better people in this world. Now, as we moved into this business, that was our goal. Our goal was to help kids. And it wasn't until the day that we opened the doors to our brand new volleyball facility that I looked my husband in the eye the morning we were going to the gym, and I said, this wasn't us. This was all God. Because looking back at my life, He protected me, even at the times that I turned my back on Him. The decisions I made through that time that I was in college could have turned out a lot different than they did. So He really did put His arms around me, and He really put His arms around my husband. My husband didn't have as great of an experience. He had people around him hurt when, for some reason, he didn't get hurt. So that protection overwhelmed me with gratefulness. I became instantly thankful. And even since that day, my husband and I, we don't worry. We don't, if something bad happens, we just learn to trust in God through it. And we've had some pretty hard things that have happened since we opened the doors to our volleyball facility. Our marriage has been hard sometimes. Raising children has been hard. I got really sick and have to deal with some really weird food issues. And but it's all part of God's plan. And I don't get to come to church very often, but when I do, I always sit in the front row because I want to sing very loud and I don't want everybody to hear me. But I am usually the one just crying my eyes out because I am so thankful for everything that God has done for me. And because of that, I will always trust in Him.